How old is the?
He is 20 months old.
20 months.
About a year and a half.
My mom's remains are here on the table in the middle of the box, and feel free to get up and take a look as you like. Thank you everyone for coming in memory of my mother, Elizabeth Smith. She would want you to use this time to respectfully remember her in whichever way the Spirit moves you. You can join us in the scheduled events, or you can walk freely at the venue, whichever is best for you. This event is recorded for family and friends who could not travel to attend. If you do not wish to be recorded, there's an area you can sit, so back there is out of the area where the camera can see. If you want to say a speech and not record it, please see my wife Tina, and we can talk about it before we get into the speeches sometime soon. And then from now until roughly an hour, we will use this time as a time to grieve. We will start with some music, and then I will follow with a eulogy and some words from her other family members. After my time, others can come up here to speak if they want to, but followed by more time for others who want to say some short words while seated if you prefer not to stand in front of everybody. And after that, we'll have a silent time for everyone to have their own silent prayers and thoughts. Once we are finished with our time to grieve, I will talk about how we will proceed with the spreading of the ashes. But for now, when she is ready, Pearl will start with some lovely harmonica music she'd like to share. Okay.
The next one is Over the Rainbow, because this used to hang with me when I play harmonica. Okay. So I know she knows that she knew this song. is A Southern Wind. This is a poem Kevin will recite later on, right? Okay. And that song was made by a Japanese composer in memory of someone who passed away. One more is A Song at the Seashore. And the composer said this song was written in memory of his friend who passed away. That's why I play this song for this. Okay, the last one is You Raise Me Up. You all know that song. Okay. those days.
Thank you, Pearl, for sharing your music with us. Your selection is very thoughtful, and my mom would have loved to have everyone hear it. At this time, I will start our speeches. So, hello again, everyone. I'm Kevin. I'm Liz's son. She is my mother, and she was my anchor for a large part of my life. Liz was born to two loving parents in Reading, Pennsylvania, a short 57 years ago. She grew up in a Catholic family, one of 6 brothers and sisters. I understand that she was a smart and hardworking student. She would tell me about her A's in school. She was young when she had me, finishing high school the year I was born. My earliest memories of her are in Delaware, raising me in a military family with my father serving in the Navy. She took care of my various headaches, ear infections, and chickenpox. She took me with her to the grocery store, babysitter, and school. She danced and sang to music in the car, Madonna, Michael Jackson, Paula Abdul, and so on. She helped me with Boy Scouts activities. She cut my nails and gave me baths. She read books with me. In her early 20s, she and my father had split. It must have been tough for her. We moved back to her hometown in Reading, Pennsylvania, close to family. Sadly, the next relationship became traumatic for us both. When that happened, she got us out of there. Then we lived together in a nice small row home in the city where I could finish school in a relatively steady home environment. She worked hard in various jobs, notably volunteer work with an ambulance service and security work. Sometimes she would work 2 jobs to keep up with the bills. She was my hero. I remember spending a day with her on her day off, where she saved someone's life while we were just walking down the road. Excuse me. Stopping the bleeding, keeping him conscious as he started to faint, and calling 911 to have an ambulance arrive quickly, and staying with him as he recovered before the ambulance took him away. As time went on, she got more education and training to become a phlebotomist. She prides herself on having the steadiest hands of any phlebotomist. I can vouch for that, as I was one of her first arms. It's tough to raise a teenager. Mom, I'm sorry for when I was tough. Thank you for riding bikes with me, buying us a weight set and punching bag, and talking with me about anything, even if it was uncomfortable teenage stuff. She helped me learn the importance of working and the value of earning money. She cared for my grades and tried to keep me out of trouble. Sometimes those things slipped, and she got me back on track. Next thing she knew, I graduated and left for the Navy. Half of her life spent with me. She got a degree in massage therapy and did that as a side hustle, becoming very talented and running her own business alone for several years. I believe that this was another way that she found that she could help others. I recently found her music from her work in massage therapy. Listening to that makes me feel closer to her since she has passed. The years went by, and I moved further and further away. She struggled with relationships, ultimately deciding that it was better to live life on her own, in her own way, without having to live with the expectations that some relationships can bring. Employment was hard to balance. She tried to become a nurse, but it didn't work out. She worked some odd jobs for a while. She came to my graduation at University of Arizona and started to have thoughts about moving here closer to me. Time passed quickly, and the next thing you know, I am married, and it was time to make it more than a thought. She saved up, consolidated her things, and moved to Tucson, Arizona. She found work with a great team at Sonora Quest, and within a few years, she had a beautiful grandchild. She had 17 months to watch Kai grow. For her birthday, all she wanted to do was meet her grandson soon after his birth. She held him at 3 weeks old, bottle feeding him and babbling to him. She would come every month or so to get a snapshot of time with him, finding the new ways that he liked to play. She gave him toys, held him, and played games with him running around the house. And that was it. She passed unexpectedly. Looking back, I can see a sign from every now and then about declining health, but she was too modest to give a good impression of just how bad it must have been. Just before she passed, I took her to urgent care. Despite her symptoms, she talked like she didn't need to go to urgent care, and that it was silly to prove to her work that she was sick and needed to miss work for 3 days. I took her to get medications to treat the symptoms and believed that the meds would help her feel better again. She seemed pretty normal, just tired. When I drove her home for the last time, she asked me questions about my life and about her grandson. I told her about what it was like being a house husband for about a year at the time and potential plans for a future career. I told her about how smart her grandson was and what it was like sending him to daycare. I told her about how well my wife was doing and how we are a happy family. We wore masks together in the car, and she gave me an air hug so that her grandson wouldn't get sick. And she reminded me to sanitize surfaces in the car. She told me she loved me very much. She went back to her apartment. Sorry. That was the last time we talked. My mother loved to sing karaoke, play pool, ride motorcycles, ride bicycles, ride convertible cars, roller skate, tan at the beach, swim, exercise, dance, walk, listen to music, party with friends. She loved her family. Parents, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, and her son, her daughter-in-law, her grandson. She loved joking with friends and strangers and being silly. She wanted to help others, and she would burn out working hard to do it. My mother has always been my anchor. For me, she was always safe to talk to, without judgment, and available no matter what was going on. She was silly and expressive, a quality which makes you feel comfortable to act, to say, to do whatever comes to your mind. I'm so glad and lucky to have had that in my life. She likes to talk about anything and explore any emotion, no matter how hard. I will remember her most for her embrace, for her kindness, for her empathy, and for her ease to talk to. One of the many expressions she would use is variations of the phrase, to do something when the Spirit moves you. Often an expression of motivation, but also a connection to a higher power. Despite life's adversity, I think that she found the Spirit. And I think she would have wanted to share that feeling of spiritual connection with others. For anyone who remembers my mother, please take a moment to find the Spirit. Let the Spirit move you in your life. Feel that connection. And let it guide you to do the thing you should do. Thank you, Elizabeth, Beth, Liz, daughter, sister, mom, Grandma Liz, friend, for walking with us in this world and sharing your love and companionship while you were here. We love you, Mom. Thank you. So, I have other items to read. Her family would send me some things to remember her. First is from her sister Cheryl, my aunt Cheryl. Dear little sis, never dreamed that I would be the one saying goodbye to you. I remember your first years. You were my baby. I loved you dearly. I took you to the playground in the summer, pushed you on the swings, and wheeled you in the stroller to the pool. I remember how you hugged that giant pink panther Margaret gave to you when you had your tonsils out. We lost touch when I started college, and you were yet to go to kindergarten. We grew up together but apart, doing our own things. You were always secretive, preferring to tackle problems in your own way. I remember your part as a street hawker in the school play. Well done. You raised a fine son. I am most proud of your greatest accomplishment, inventing a new life for yourself. I hope I was there enough for you when you needed help the most, but were afraid to ask. I hope now you are safe in God's arms. I will always miss you. Amen. And next one from her brother Robert. Hello, friends and relatives of my dear sister Elizabeth Smith. It pains me to not be here with you today. I'm unable to make it in person because of all the occurrences happening in my life now. This is not to be a day of sadness, but a day of celebration. God has accepted Elizabeth into his kingdom. We all have done things we may regret, but my sister has raised a responsible son who cares about his family and friends. My sister Elizabeth should be remembered for that reason alone. I have known Beth all my life and hers. She is a friendly person who worked hard to raise her son. People don't realize how hard it is to raise a family until they have one to raise. I wish she would have asked me for help more, but I know I also had my own family to raise as well. I guess the youngest people in the family always seem to need the most help. Liz needed a lot of help, and so did I. Our parents were there for us as much as they could be. Our brothers and sisters were there to give whenever the support they could. It was common to have 6 children in my parents' day. The reason was twofold. The older children took care of the younger children, and birth control was very little. Everyone worked hard to support the family. I had a wife who died a year and a half ago, so I have a little experience with losing a loved one. Her name was Nadine. I'm sure Liz and Nadine are up in heaven right now talking. Liz was Nadine's caregiver for a while before she went to Arizona. Liz worked really hard with her full-time and part-time job to move to Arizona to be close to her son. She wanted to be close, but not too close, so she wouldn't be a bother. You may notice that I called Elizabeth by 3 different names. Her given name, what we called her when she was young, Beth, and the name she picked when she got older, Liz. Someday we will all be up in heaven together, so please don't feel sad. Be happy. Robert A. Kirshner. And he sent some pictures to share as well, so feel free to look at your leisure. Next is words from her sister, Mary. Dear Kevin and family, so sorry for your loss. My sister, Beth, was a lovely person. She was 11 years younger than me and the baby in our family. There were walks to Antietam Pool with Bobby, the next youngest, and 5 years her senior. We would swim until the rest of the family of 8 would arrive by car with cookout stuff. We were a family of 6 kids and 2 parents. We lost Mike a few years back. Now we are 4 siblings. Remember those who have passed, but relish in the living. Our prayers are with you, Aunt Mary. What's up, buddy? And a moment of silent prayer for her brother Paul, who sends us prayers for her and keeps us and our family in his prayers during this difficult time. Thank you. And another moment of silent prayer for Uncle Mike, who Elizabeth joins with a warm embrace in the afterlife for her brother Mike. Thank you. And now I'll read a poem that Pearl wanted us to read. It's related to the harmonica music we played earlier. It's really nice. It's called Do Not Stand at My Grave and Weep by Mary Elizabeth Fry. Do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am in 1,000 winds that blow. I am the softly falling snow. I am the gentle showers of rain. I am the fields of ripening grain. I am in the morning hush. I am in the graceful rush of beautiful birds in the circling flight. I am the starshine of the night. I am in the flowers that bloom. I am in a quiet room. I am in the birds that sing. I am in each lovely thing. Do not stand at my grave and cry. I am not there. I do not die. Thank you. Thank you all for listening during my time. If there's anyone who wants to stand here and say some words at the podium, please join me at this time. You can. Sure. Can you put this on your shirt?
Oh, I can just take that. Hi, Liz. I'm wearing purple because Kevin said purple was your favorite color. How are you? I suppose you have a nice reunion up above with your other family that has already passed away. It's always hard to say goodbye. It won't be forgotten. I remember all the good times we spent together. The many lunch and the dinner parties, the hike, the ping pong game, and the super scramble game, and the 4th of July fireworks. Thank you for raising such a fine son. He is a wonderful husband, an amazing father, and a great son-in-law. Your grandson, or I should say our grandson, is growing. He is a healthy and a happy cutie. George, Kevin, Tina, and I will take good care of him. Rest in peace, Liz. Okay.
If anybody else would like to stand, otherwise we can talk at our seats.
Oh, I have something to say.
Oh.
Okay.
Right there, you push. Or you can hold it if you want.
Push.
There, that spot.
Hi, everyone. Liz was my mother-in-law. She was not your traditional mother-in-law. She said I could call her whatever names that I preferred. The first time I met her was in December 2015 when she visited Kevin from Pennsylvania. The same night, we were all watching Orange is the New Black on the couch together. That's how I knew she was non-traditional. She said she would kick Kevin's butt if he was not nice to me. She was very easygoing and always thanked us for inviting her over to our house. She loved playing with her grandson, Kai. I'm glad that she got to spend some time with Kevin and Kai in the past few years. Although the time was too short, we will keep memories of her alive for Kai, and may her spirit live on with us. Goodbye, Liz. Thank you.
If you could hold it, or you can put it if you want.
Hi, I'm Flor. I met Liz when it was COVID time, and she just kind of came in when we were all really struggling, and it was a really bad time. And she just, as always, just took whatever was coming at her. It didn't matter what it was. She made a game plan, executed it, and just ran circles around us, you know? Like she was nonstop. But she always stopped to, Lizzie always stopped to just make sure we were okay and just to check in and to, it didn't matter how bad the day was going, that she always inserted that little laugh, that little quirk of like, she did the Irish jig one day and I will never forget that because I didn't know what it was. And she just flat out just did her thing, didn't care in the middle of the hall, you know, didn't care who walked by and saw her. She just did it and made us laugh, and that was the thing. And she always made sure that we all did our huggies, and that's the one thing that we're always going to remember, because she did group hugs, and it was a little awkward because we were heads and arms and just all trying to like hug each other like a little octopus. But she just always made sure that we were all like okay and checked in before she left, and always talked about her son and her family. And that was the thing that she would rush. She'd tell me, hey, everything's done. I'm done. Can I get home to my family? I got to go see my grandkid. And she was like, I got to go change. I can't go like this. And she was always so mindful of that, of just keeping people safe regardless. And she didn't agree with a lot of people. We butted heads sometimes. And I think sometimes we were just in passing that I wish I would have known you a little bit more, Liz, because seeing some of your pictures, I'm like, damn, what a firecracker. Because that's what she was, regardless of what was going on. She always exuded that life, I guess, that love and that caring for people. And I think that's something we should carry on. And what I've been learning about, experiencing more death lately is that, nobody's ever really gone. Just like the poem said, like right there, right next to us right now. She's here. I'm sure this light's been going on and off because she's in here doing things, And it's just beautiful to see all that life that she also left with us and just to carry that on. And thank you. Thank you for being my friend, Liz, because I think that's what you were, more than just a coworker. So thank you for that. And thank you, everybody.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you.
Well, I'd like to say something, but I don't want to get up there.
Okay. Well, I think now is a good time if folks would like to continue.
Okay, like I was telling you, I've known her for a year and a half. I worked with her. She's such a great worker. And she was a friend. And then when I retired, she would come over at night and we would sit out in the back and, like I say, talk for hours. And it would get so late that, even though we're old, she would spend the night. And she's done that a couple of times that I thought it was weird at first, but, then it's like, I lived alone. She was alone. We were both lonely, just needed someone to feed off of, But Liz was my friend, and I'm going to miss her. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else like to say anything aloud? Okay. Thank you for sharing. Now, if anyone would like to add words from their seats, thank you for sharing those words. Now, please, everyone, let's have another moment of silence. Please silently think of your thoughts and prayers to my mother. Thank you. Thank you for your time of silent reflection and prayer. Now formally ends our time of grieving as a group. Next, I will prepare to travel on a trail and spread Elizabeth's ashes. This may take me several minutes to get ready. Once I start the walk, you can either follow at a distance or stay here and begin a celebration of life with snacks and refreshments. When I get back, I will join in the celebration as well. For now, everyone feel free to get up and move around for a while. You can talk with each other if you want. Thank you. our last hike together, Mom. Love you. You'll be missed. By all your friends. And your family. Me, and your grandson. I love you, Mom. You good? Okay. I think I see a spot up here. And we'll put Mom near the sign for the prickly pear.
I think that's fitting.
Okay, so you can stay here, and I'll go back there. You can still hear me. Dear Mom, Elizabeth, I will lay you here for now in the desert to play with the owls, wildcats, and rattlesnakes. But may your spirit travel to all of your loved ones, as your memories do, to help us in our lives as you did in your life. You may be gone from my sight, but never from my heart. Goodbye for now. With all of our love, with all of my love. Dearest Mom. I'll put you with this jumping cholla, Mom, so you can stick to people as they walk by. Oh, you stuck me too, didn't you? I'll smooth you out. It was nice walking with you today, Mom. Thank you for all the walks together. May you rest in peace. Amen. Put that over here. The next person.
That was from your mom's cholla.
Yeah.